So the importance is about this class is the story about Amalek. We know that Amalek, that they are the ones who in every generation, they want to kill us for nothing that we did wrong. That is Amalek. You want to define who Amalek is? It's very hard to define who it is. But the ones who want to hurt the Jews, that we didn't do anything to them wrong. They just don't like us. That's Amalek. Now, we know that it says in the Pasuk that all the ones who hate the Jews, they hate Hashem. So obviously they're Amalek. But we want to understand this week parasha, we're reading also Parashat Zachor. We're going to talk about the Mitzvat Aseh from the Torah, about the erasing, the eradicating the name of Amalek. And something very interesting about this war. This is a war that happened, Moshe Rabbeinu and Yoshua bin Nun. Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't kill Amalek. He sent instead Yoshua bin Nun to fight Amalek. Why was it like that? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu not fight Amalek? And he asked instead that Yoshua bin Nun should fight Amalek. Listen guys very closely. Moshe Rabbeinu, Shevet Levi. Shevet Levi don't have to fight in the wars. And since they don't have to fight in the wars, since they are learning Torah, Shevet Levi, since they are learning Torah, they don't have to fight Amalek. Instead, who did he send? Yoshua bin Nun. Where does Yoshua bin Nun come from? The tribe of Ephraim from Yosef. As we know that it says in the Pasuk, that Bet Yosef Lehava, Bet Esav Lekash. That Yaakov Avinu, he waited till he had Yosef in order for him to go back to meet his brother Esav, because he knew that Esav is like straw and Yosef is like fire. And you take a little bit of fire of Yosef and you can take down Esav. The way to fight Esav is with Yosef. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu sent Yoshua bin Nun to fight against Amalek, which is Esav. And also, Moshe Rabbeinu himself didn't fight. He stood back and he was doing his own fight. What was his fight? His fight was his prayer. Why? Because he's Shevet Levi. And therefore it's important that whenever we have enemies who want to fight us, the way to fight them is in two fronts. Number one is physically, like Yosef. We know also Mashiach ben Yosef is going to be the one who's going to first wipe out all the enemies of the Jews, and then he's going to die at the war. And then in the end, who's going to come up? Mashiach ben David. Right? So Mashiach ben Yosef is the one who's going to be the warrior to fight against Esav, fight against Amalek. And then Mashiach ben David is going to come and he's going to finish the deal for us. Now that we understand, we have to understand about the story about Shaul. Where did Shaul come from? Also from Binyamin. And Shaul, being that he was the first king, he was the first one to be hayav to kill out Amalek. Why? Because it says in the halakha that when you have a Jewish king of Am Yisrael, then you have a mitzvah of eradicating Amalek. Until you don't have a king in Am Yisrael, you don't have a mitzvah to kill out Amalek. And therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't kill out Amalek. He only weakened them, it says. And why? Is because it wasn't officially a king in Eretz Yisrael, and therefore, we don't have to yet kill out Amalek entirely. That's not the time of the mitzvah. And now that Shaul was the king in Eretz Yisrael, Shmuel the prophet told him, you have to go and kill out Amalek entirely. No mercy. Kill out everybody, including the animals. And what happens? Shaul knows that it's going to be very hard for him to convince the people because everybody's comfortable in Eretz Yisrael. Amalek wasn't doing anything wrong at the time to the Jewish people. Why do we have to get them involved in this war? So Shaul convinced all the people, Milhemet mitzvah, we have to go kill out Amalek. If you would do that, that would be the end. Mashiach, that's the end. Killing out Amalek. And he goes and he starts the war against Amalek with the people. Everybody joined the ranks. And they came to fight Amalek. And then in the end of the war, what does Shaul do? He doesn't kill out all Amalek. He leaves behind one person. Who's the one person he leaves behind? Agag. The king. Agag, he leaves him behind. Some opinions because Agag, he told him to have special business deals with you. You know, like with Hitler, we don't know what happened to Hitler if he was actually killed during World War II. It could very well be, for the many theories, conspiracy theories, that Hitler, he gave away to America many German weaponry secrets. And by doing that, he was able to, America saved his life. They made him look different, and they let him go to Buenos Aires in Argentina. A lot of the Nazis went to Buenos Aires in Argentina. It's not clear that Hitler committed suicide before they caught up to him. It's very possible that he just disappeared, and the DNA wasn't exactly his. So there's a lot of things that were strange in the story, and a lot of times this is what happens. You want to get army secrets, so what do? The head of the enemy, the wicked of the wicked, sometimes they let them go to get some army secrets. Some people say that Shaul had some types of business deals with Agag, and therefore he didn't kill him right away. And that's one opinion, but there's a much deeper opinion. The reason why he didn't kill Agag was because Shaul was a very, very, very big tzaddik. And Shaul was such a great tzaddik. We know Moshe Rabbeinu, he wanted to kill out the Mitzri. He saw that there was an Egyptian man who was beating a Jewish man. Why was the Egyptian man beating the Jewish man? Being that the Jewish man's wife, her name was Shalomit Bat Dibri. Shalomit Bat Dibri was the only woman who slept with an Egyptian in Egypt. And how did that happen? Shalomit Bat Dibri, she would say shalom. She would say shalom to all the ones who passed her by. She was an extroverted personality. And it caused that this Egyptian wanted to sleep with this Jewish woman. It was an embarrassment for an Egyptian to sleep with a Jewish woman. So at the time when the Jewish husband, in the middle of the night, this guy, the Egyptian, comes to the house of this Shalomit Bat Dibri, brings out the husband to come to work in the middle of the night. He's working in the middle of the night. In the meantime, the Egyptian comes into the house, and what does he do? He sleeps with the wife. She doesn't know. She thinks it's her own husband. It's pitch black. He comes, leaves the house, and what ends up happening? The husband comes back in, and then he wants to sleep with the wife. She says, "What's that? We were just together just a few minutes ago. Twice in one night. What's wrong?" So what ends up happening? She realizes that what happened? It was the Egyptian. And the Egyptian realized that the Jew was starting to think about it. Hey, what happened last night with my wife? And therefore, he wanted to kill this Jew. And when Moshe Rabbeinu saw this, what did Moshe Rabbeinu do? Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to say Hashem's name, but first, Vayifin Kol Vacho. He looked right and left. Now, there were Jewish witnesses there, but he still looked right and left. Why was he looking right and left? You're going to miss something very hashuv, and it's your chance to get it now. Vayifin Kol Vacho, he looked right and left to see what? To see if there's anybody that's going to come out of this person, this Mitzri, that it's worth letting him stay alive. And therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu, when he saw that there was nobody coming out of this Mitzri, he said the name of Hashem, 72 letters, and he killed this Egyptian. Now, Shaul had the same situation. He was nervous to kill out Agag because he saw that in the future of this man is going to come out to be a great, great man. Who was that? Of course, we know that Haman came out of Agag. But who came out of Haman? It says that he has great-grandchildren who were teaching Torah in Bnei Brak. He had a great-great-grandson, Haman, that his name was Rabbi Shmuel ben Shilat, who used to teach children. He was a convert and he was a descendant of Amalek, and he taught children Torah, and therefore Shaul was hesitant to kill him. And therefore Shaul didn't kill Agag. And not only that, he didn't also kill the animals. Very important factor. He did not kill the sheep. He did not kill the donkeys. Now that you know this, you'll be able to understand this is very, very important. There's another important reason why Shaul didn't want to kill this guy, Agag, because the Samech Mem at the time, the angel, Samech Mem, we call him Sami, Samech Mem, and then Aleph, and then Lamed, and he's in charge of stopping the Jews from eradicating Amalek. He convinced Shaul to be a little bit more compassionate and to have a little bit of Rahmanut. And Agag, he convinced him. Why? He said because we know that there's a concept that the Jews have to know that when somebody's a killer, and they bring down the young calf, the egel, to the Nahal, to the valley, and they do something to try to find out. What do? They kill the egel. Why do they kill the egel? After they knock off the egel's head and say, we don't know who killed this person, what would happen was the blood of this egel would go, and there would be flies, and it would go all the way to the person who killed the guy who was here, and they would know the Beit Din who was the actual killer. So now Shaul, he was convinced in the Nahal by the war against Amalek not to kill Agag. He was convinced not to kill also the sheep. When he comes to his rabbi Shemuel, he tells Shemuel the prophet, he says, Hakimoti, I fulfilled the commandment, I killed out all of Amalek. But he didn't call out Amalek. He left out Agag. And what does Shemuel say? He says, I hear the sheep. I told you not to leave any sheep alive. He didn't say, I heard that you killed Agag. You didn't kill Agag. He says, I heard that there's sheep that are saying, man, what's all this sound of the sheep? And he says, Shmuel tells Shaul, you lost your opportunity and you are not going to be king again. And he walks away. And at the time, Shaul runs after Shmuel, grabs his garment, says, no, I did my job. What did I do wrong? I'll fix it. He says, no, you're too late. You missed it. He rips Shmuel's garment. Shmuel tells Shaul, because you ripped my garment, same thing to you, Hashem is going to rip away from you the Malchut. And from now on, the Malchut will not be yours. It will go to David HaMelech, somebody better than you. Now, what does Shaul do? Shmuel do, the prophet. Shmuel goes to Agag. And Agag, he brings Agag towards him. Now Agag comes to Shmuel calmly. And he says something very interesting. He says, Achen sar mar hamavet. He says, that's it. Everything's good. And what does Shmuel says? What? Not everything good. Shmuel comes and he takes Shaul. And even though Shmuel is not a warrior, he's a prophet. Shmuel is also a Levi, right? And he's higher than Moshe and Aaron put together. And he takes out a sword and he kills kills Agag. He breaks him into 4 pieces. And that's the end of Agag. But it's not the end of Agag. The Yalkut Shimoni tells us what really happened. You see, why didn't Shmuel be bothered about Agag? Well, Agag had a future coming out of him. So maybe you shouldn't kill him. But there was something else that was happening here. He said, I heard the sheep. He told, we know the story happened that night that Agag was in the pit. Shmuel takes Shaul the prophet, the king, takes Agag. He puts him in a pit for the night. He's not killing him. And in that moment, the Yalkut Shimon the Midrash tells us, he turns to Hashem and he says, Hashem, this is going to be the end. This is the end of the Amalek. There's not going to be anything that's going to be after me. Hashem, please let me have some type of continuation. And Hashem makes a miracle and comes down to the pit of Agag, a shivha, a maidservant. And he sleeps with the maidservant, and he has a child, and the maidservant leaves the pit, and Agag's stuck there, and then Agag dies. What?
Why does Hashem do that for him?
Because even a Rasha who prays to Hashem, Hashem answers the prayers. And this is why I want you to come, because I gave a class to somebody in the community. I said that Agag slept with a dog, and he had a child, and that was able to get away. The dog got away from the jail, and that's the way that we have the Kedusha of Haman. Haman came from Agag, from that relationship. And he said, Rabbi, I don't believe that Agag slept with a dog. And I said, I know in my head that Agag slept with an animal in the jail. So I know something's wrong. So I asked my rabbi, is it true that Agag slept with an animal, a dog in the jail? My rabbi said, I don't know. I never heard such a thing. But he said, but I know that when Orpah left Naomi, her mother-in-law, and she went back to Moab, she slept that night with 1,000 men, and one of the men was a dog. He didn't have a dog. There wasn't really a man. It was a dog. And from those 1,000 men with the one that was a dog, she had Goliath. She had four sons who were Giborim, and because of the 1,000 times in that one night, imagine a woman, 1,000 relationships in one night. Orpah did it. Orpah did it. She was just so broken that she had a chance to be coming to Am Yisrael. And look what her sister Ruth built. Look what Ruth became, the mother of David HaMelech. She left the religion. She said, I have a chance to convert. But I'm not ready for this. So that's why a person, if they go too fast, and then they break, they could fall much, much lower. So he said that's what happened with the dog. Now I was broken because I said it can't be that Agag I had in my head that he slept with the dog that night. And this morning, on the way to the kotel, I'm listening to a class. And for some reason, the rabbi says this in the class. He says that the animals that Shaul didn't kill from Amalek weren't real animals. Amalek were known to be excellent witchcraft people that know mazalot and they know witchcraft. So the Amalek people, they didn't want that Shaul should kill them. What do? They did witchcraft and they turned themselves into sheep and into donkeys.
Anyone who's on the phone and sent them. Sunday, morning. Please do not spread fake news and say Tuesday because the rabbis are coming up to me and they're really concerned. And Sunday morning? It's Sunday, Monday. You guys have to wake up then. Tuesday? And we're out.
So those people from Amalek, in order that Shaul shouldn't kill them, they turned themselves into animals, like Kuchimoni says, and then they took when they prayed, those people from Amalek, Agag, when he prayed that he should have a continuation, what happens? The other sheep, they bring towards the, what do you think Shaul's going to see that they're bringing a G down there to be with Agag? Of course he's going to flip. You think they didn't have guards on top of Agag? They had guards. But all of a sudden sheep came. And all of a sudden a donkey was sent down. That donkey was a shifcha in witchcraft. And Agag slept with the donkey, and the donkey left the boar, and from there came the continuation of Amalek. And that's why he said, Shemuel, when he came to kill, that's, by the way, the reason why Shaul, he lost it. He lost his purpose. He could have killed that Amalek, and he missed the opportunity, the golden chance. But his descendants, Mordechai and Esther, they were the ones that were going to kill that Amalek, kill that Haman, to do the tikkun of their grandfather, Shaul, who didn't do it. And that's the reason why the words of Agag was Achen Sar Mar Hamavet. Achen is Gematria 71. 71 is exactly the amount of days that Haman rose to power. And those days that he was in power, 71 days, the whole story. From the time he rises to power till the time that they killed him. Agag was telling Shemuel, you're going to kill me, but I'm calm. You know why? Because I know that I have, going forward, there's a 71 that's going to come, Haman, and in those 71 days, he's going to get rid of the Jews. And to that, Shemuel answered him back. He said, he says that the woman they killed out Amalek, he was referring to who? He saw in the future, Shemuel, that I'm not worried about Haman because there's going to come a woman who's going to take down Haman. Who is the woman? Esther. And that is the hidush I want to say today, is that sometimes when you learn something and you're not sure, but it can't be you made it up. Don't give up. Keep looking. Even if your rabbi doesn't know where it is, if you saw something somewhere and you know that it's true, stick to it till you find the source, because Hashem will help you find the source. And remember one thing, if Agag, who's the king of Amalek, he makes a prayer to Hashem, and Hashem answers his prayer and brings him a future that there shouldn't be the end of Amalek. Kal vachomer, when we ask Hashem that we want to have a chance to learn Torah, we want to have a chance to build a home of Shekhinah, of Kiddusha, Kal vachomer, Hashem will answer our prayers. Baruch Adonai, amen v'amen.